Knock, knock. Who's there? ICE agents with no warrant, and they just kicked in Maria's door. What they're doing is 100% illegal under the Fourth Amendment, and I'll show you how to slam the door back in their faces.
Welcome to Want More with Dr. Moore, the criminologist of the Bay. Your host, Dr. Talia Moore, is a college professor who created this space to discuss and facilitate transformation in learning. Each week, we'll bring you dynamic leaders and change makers and discuss systems, practices, policies, and people that intersect and impact justice as we know it. And now your host, Dr. Talia Moore.
As a criminologist with over a decade of law enforcement and community corrections experience, as well as being a college professor and forensic expert, this material and this information really resonates with me. Welcome to Want More with Dr. Moore, the criminologist of the Bay, where we bring you stories and insights from the intersection of justice and society. My name is Dr. Talia Moore, and I am your host. By the end of this video, you'll know 1, how ICE uses paper traps to bypass your rights. 2, what administrative warrants are and what they're not. And 3, the exact phrase to stop ICE dead in their tracks. Now let's look at the Fourth Amendment here, right? We're going to really break this down. The Fourth Amendment really is the protection of anybody coming into our house, our space, and anything that we claim to be ours without a verified court-issued warrant. The Fourth Amendment ensures our protections against unjustified warrants, or at least it did. Right now, we're seeing that ICE agents are really running amok, capturing and collecting people as if they're objects instead of persons with souls and spirits. And they're not just going after criminals. This could be anybody, a law-abiding citizen, somebody who may be in the process of having their immigration status formalized, or somebody who's just going to work in court. And yet they're being pulled away, subjected to the evils and ills of this horrible administration and these practices to cattle people into herds. The due process that we have grown to know and really bank on is not in place. And our Fourth Amendment rights for anybody is not being protected. So we should all be concerned. I have previously covered the Fourth Amendment, and so this subject matter, you are able to access it in previous videos as well. I want to follow back on that information and material and bring you some updates as it relates to our Fourth Amendment rights, protections, and the erosion of these rights that are happening right before our eyes. These ICE raids are really following a playbook here. So the first play, psychological warfare, exploiting people, knocking on their doors at 3 a.m. or 5 a.m., going to court where they're actually going to court for their immigration and picking people up, plotting and tagging people and picking them off of the work lines and schools. People are scared to go to work, and people are scared to seek medical care and drop their kids off at school, all because of these unjustifiable detainments that ICE is implementing on people. The second tactic in this warfare, bait the door, knocking and coming to your door as if they have a justifiable warrant, when in actuality, it may not even be anything at all. And if it is something, it's probably not a formalized warrant, but a paper being issued by someone who is not a magistrate at all. And then the final step here is the illegal entry. If you do not answer or refuse to answer, they're kicking down doors and pulling people out of their houses. And when we think about the impact of these ICE raids, for those who are lawfully residing here, those who are law-abiding, tax-paying participants in our society, we really have to question the level of trauma that is being ensued upon communities that are being impacted. To have someone being able to come to your door at 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning and pull out a loved one, having to worry about going down the street or not being able or feeling comfortable and safe and going to work to make money to feed your family, all out of fear that you'll be detained without any due process, without a warrant, and really without knowing what's going to happen next. And for many people, this is their real reality. So some of the things that we are seeing: hypervigilance. People are not able to sleep at night. I mean, hey, you never know. Somebody might be coming to your door to kick it down. Another trauma that people are experiencing is really betrayal trauma. So being fearful that you can't even call 911 for help if you really need it, because you don't know if 911, the police, and ICE are different entities or all one of the same, especially when agents are showing up in gear that says police when in actuality they're ICE. And another thing that we're seeing as a trauma impact, the low enrollment in school attendance, because people are fearful to take their kids to school. And so what does this kind of cyclical trauma look like? Now we have parents who aren't taking kids to school, kids who are not going to school as a result of this. And so now we're seeing two generations of fear impacted as a result of one incident. And then lastly, just want to note the health implications that this level of trauma creates. If someone is sick and they are having some kind of medical issue, but they're fearful of going to the hospital because they don't know if ICE is going to be walking through the door looking to extract them from the medical care that they're hoping to receive. Our due process rights are being literally ripped away. You have people who may be going to court to address their immigration status legally. And once they are reporting for their summons, the court process drops the ball and essentially allows for ICE agents to pick them up and detain them as they're going through the legal mechanisms to gain citizenship here. And when we think about, dropping the ball, I'll say, as a former deputy probation officer, when I had people on my caseload who were adjudicated through the courts, but still also looking to gain citizenship, the level of supervision provided by probation was actually seen as a positive thing. And so now when we're seeing the courts are dismissing cases, knowing that this is leaving people free and essentially vulnerable to ICE detainment, we have to really be mindful of that. So what weapons do you have, not literally, but figuratively, in response to these raids? Well, the first one, and this is old school, but don't open the door. Learned it when I was a latchkey kid, and it is still applicable today. Essentially saying that you do not consent to have your house searched or to engage in any further correspondence in this way with the ICE agent who's knocking at your door. You can request that they show you a badge, because we know that there's been some pretenders out here who are seat fillers in this attempt to extract people out of their houses unlawfully. You can ask that ICE not only provide you with a warrant, but that it's also visible. So can they, show you the warrant as they're showing you their badge as well. Another way that we can respond to these ICE raids is really drawn upon our community. And we're really seeing the community step up in really miraculous ways. So if this is like a text stream of letting the people in the community know, a kind of a silent hooty hoo, they're outside kind of notification, that's possible. But also just thinking about the level of allyship that has developed as a result of these ICE raids, where we're seeing white people step up in droves to protect those who are being impacted by these ICE raids, being willing to sacrifice themselves to ensure that people are protected, and really that they're really protecting our Fourth Amendment and all of our constitutional rights in these actions. And so there are ways that allyship can be supportive of people who are going through this experience or who may be subjected to the ills of ICE. So if this information is valuable to you and you know of any other person who could benefit from this information, please be sure to subscribe, share, like, and be sure to comment as well. Until next time, educate, empower, and enact the changes you want to see. Want more?
Want more with Dr. Moore, the criminologist of the Bay? Follow us on Facebook at Want More, Instagram at Want More Dr. Moore, and on TikTok at Want More with Dr. Moore for more information. Be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, educate, empower, and enact the changes you want to see. Want more.